in the Gospel of John. And if you missed last week's story, you should go check it out. Today is in John chapter 4. And here's one of the things I'm noticing in the Gospel of John. Like every steps that Jesus made was intentional. He has a reason why he had to go in such and such a place. And in the Gospel of John, it starts with verse 1. It says, Now when Jesus learned that the Pharisees had heard that Jesus was making and baptizing more disciples than John, although Jesus himself did not baptize, but only his disciples, he left Judea and departed again for Galilee. Okay, nothing strange. And he had to pass through Samaria. This is where it gets very interesting because he didn't have to pass through Samaria because the Jews they will reroute somewhere else because they did not want to go through Samaria because they consider the Samaritans like dogs, like less than nothing, like sinners. They people you should not talk to, people you should not interact with, people you should not rub shoulders with. You just stay away from these type of people. I want to ask you a question. Do you have any people like this in your life, in your neighborhood? You kind of like, you know what? I don't want to interact with you. I don't want to have any connection with you. You are a sinner. You are this. You are that. I don't want to have any relationship with you. Do you have any people like this in your neighborhood that you think they are beyond saving? That you think that they are too far for Jesus to do anything for them? And this is the case here. The Jews, they look at the Samaritans. They said, "You are too far. You are a sinner. You are not good to be around. Therefore, we're not even gonna walk through your area. We're gonna reroute to go somewhere else." But in John chapter 4, it says that Jesus had to go through Samaria, and this is why it gets so important because in your life, Jesus will have to. He says Jesus have to go through Samaria. Jesus will have to reach out to rescue you from where you are. He says Jesus had to go through Samaria. So he came to a town of Samaria called Sychar, near the field that Jacob had given to his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there. So Jesus, wearied as he was from his journey, was tired. Oh, was sitting beside the well. It was about the sixth hour. So Jesus is sitting beside the well, and something important is going to happen. This is a divine appointment. This is a divine meeting. Okay. So he had to pass through Samaria, which means the disciples will have to go through him. Here's the thing: Jesus will take you places that you yourself would not want to go. Jesus is going to ask you to go talk to people that you will say, I will never talk to. People, Jesus is about to ask you to call, to text, to email somebody that you said, I will never talk to that person again. I will never forgive you for what you did. But Jesus is knocking on your heart and say, you need to send that text. You need to make that call. You need to send that email and try to reconcile. So the disciples who will not go through Samaria because they believe going through there, they will become sinners, they will become dirty. Okay. So they said they will want to go to reroute somewhere else, but because they are with the master, because they are with Jesus, they followed him. So he had to go through Samaria because you will see that later on in the story, there is a daughter of God there who needs him. So the disciples went with him through Samaria. And when you get there, the story says Jacob's well. He sat by, he has given his, so he came to a town of Samaria called Sychar near the field that Jacob had given to his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there. So Jesus, wearied as he was from his journey, was sitting beside the well. It was about the sixth hour. A woman from Samaria came to draw water exactly where Jesus was. The woman came to draw water. So, what is so important about this? First of all, as a rabbi, as a master, he should not be talking to a woman because, for many reasons, the woman might be in her period. If that's the case, so she will be considered as dirty. Okay, like husband and wife, when it comes to that time of the month when the woman is on her period, they will not sleep together. They will not share the same bed because she would be considered as unclean. So this woman came. Not only she's a Samaritan woman, she not only she's a Samaritan, but she's a woman. So Jesus doesn't know in her mind, like Jesus would not talk to a woman. Okay, this is why at the end of the story, the disciples were like What just happened? He's talking to a woman. Okay. So anyway, they were shocked because he doesn't know if this woman is on her period, which means if Jesus interact with her, he will become unclean as they thought. So the woman came and they have a conversation. Jesus said to him, "Give me a drink." For his disciples had gone away into the city to buy food. Give me a drink. This is another thing. Samaritans, not only they don't talk together or hang out together, what they touch, a Jew should not touch because they will consider as unclean. Maybe you have people in your life that you say, if you're going for a walk and you see them walking on the same side of the sidewalk, you cross over because you don't want to walk where they walk. You don't want to talk to them. You just don't want to have, you just don't want to associate with this type of people. And that was the case. But Jesus interact with this woman and said, "Give me a drink." Not only that he talked to this woman, he said, "Can I get a drink from you?" Which means I'm gonna need to use your vessel. I'm gonna need to use what you've been touching. And the woman said, the Samaritan woman said to him, "How is that you, a Jew, ask for a drink from me, a woman of Samaria?" Because that's unheard. It's unheard of. Like a Jew, a master rabbi will want to have a conversation with a woman, will want to sit down and have a conversation and drink from her vessel. For Jews have no dealings with Samaritans. Jesus answered her, "If you knew the gift of God and who is that is saying to you, 'Give me a drink,' you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." The woman said to him, "Sir, you have nothing to draw water with, and the well is deep. Where do you get that living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob? He gave us the well and drank from it himself, as did his sons and his livestock." So Jesus said to her, "Everyone who drinks of this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks of the water that I will give him will never be thirsty again. The water that I will give him will become in him a spring of water welling up to eternal life." The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water so I will not be thirsty or have to come here to drink water." So Jesus said to her, "Go call your husband and come here." This is when it gets very interesting. The woman answered him, "I have no husband." Jesus said to her, "You are right in saying, 'I have no husband,' for you have had five husbands, and the one you now have is not your husband. What you have said is true." So here's something very interesting that you need to keep in mind is that every time, I would say 98% in the Old Testament, when a man meets with a woman at the well, they're gonna be a wedding. They're gonna be a wedding. Here's what happened. This woman, this Samaritan woman, not only that she is shocked that a Jew, a rabbi, would talk to her, but he met her by the well. Okay. Isaac find his wife by the well. Moses, like it's in the Old Testament. When you read the Old Testament, most of the times when you find a partner, when you find your husband, your wife, it's by the well. So this woman is talking to Jesus. Probably this gonna be her next husband or her next partner. And this is why she said, "I don't have a husband. What are you talking about? I don't have a husband." And Jesus said, You're right in saying, 'I have no husband,' for you have had five husbands, but you have had five husbands, and the one you now have is not your husband." So Jesus is getting into her life. You see what happened at the beginning? There's a hook. First of all, Jesus shocked her by asking her a question. Can I get the drink from you? And now he's telling her, a woman that he's never met before, now he's telling her that, "I know you and I know the type of life that you're living, but I'm still gonna talk to you." It is shocking. I know the type of woman you are, but I'm still gonna talk to you because when I look at you, I see a daughter of God. When I look at you, I see the reason why I came onto this earth to seek and to save people like you. So I don't care about what society is saying. I don't care about what others are thinking. I'm gonna spend time with you. I'm gonna dialogue with you. And Jesus had conversation with her to a point that she is about to start a revival. This is the first revival that I can see Or if you have noticed another revival in the gospel, please put it in the comment section below, because that's the first revival that happened in the Bible. The woman at the end of the story, the woman went to the city and told everybody, I've met a man. And every time I read that story, it's interesting, because when this woman went to tell people, I've met a man, that's not the whole community. They know what type of life she lives. They know who she is. So when you said you've met a man, duh, we all know who you are and how you live your life. So yes, that's another man you just met. No, 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 no. This man is different. This man told me everything I've ever done. Everything, everything. Could this be the Messiah? Could this man be the Messiah? And Jesus continued with the conversation with this woman, because the woman is trying to change the topic, because Jesus is getting into the root of her unsatisfaction, because she is craving for something. This is why she's having all these husband, all these men's, because she feels like, if I did this guy, I will get what I need. If I did this man, I will get. Have you ever met people who feel like, or maybe that's you, who feel like, I'm not satisfied in life. If I have the boat, if I have the house that I need, if I have this boyfriend, if I have this girlfriend, if I have this, if I have that, I will be satisfied. And Jesus, knowing that, Jesus is about to tell her, like, all these stuff cannot satisfy you. What can satisfy you is a relationship with the Father. And in verse 19, she continues, she said, the woman said to him, Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet. Our fathers worship on this mountain, but you say that in Jerusalem is the place where people ought to worship. She's about to change the topic, because Jesus is getting into her life. Jesus is reading her, and she knows it. She knows it, and she's changing the topic into a theological debate. So, my father, my grandfather says this is the mountain, Mount Gerizim. That's where we need to worship. But the Jew says no, that's not the place to worship. And Jesus is saying, Jesus said to her in verse 21, Women, believe me, the hour is coming when neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem will you worship the Father. You worship what you do not know. We worship what we know, for salvation is from the Jews. But the hour is coming, and is now here, when the true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father is seeking such people to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. The woman said to him, I know that Messiah is coming, he who is called Christ. When he comes, he will tell us all things. Jesus said to her, I who speak to you, I'm here. This is fascinating. This is fascinating. So, so they went out. Oh, no, no, no. Jesus said to her, I who speak to you, I'm here. This is the reason why I was saying this is very fascinating. But Jesus is telling her, I am the Messiah. Jesus is telling her, I am the one that you've been seeking. I am the one who can satisfy you. All these husbands, all these stuff cannot satisfy you. You are the type of woman that everybody else have rejected. You're the type of woman nobody want to hang out with you. This is why you came to join, to get water at that time, because at that time that's when the sun is shining. That's when it's really hot. She's not expecting to have anybody by the well. She's not expecting to have no one by the well, and she has encountered somebody who's going to change her life. So the whole story goes, at the end, the people in the city said, I didn't believe because of what you said. I believe because of what he said. She started a revival without knowing it. The people that you think they are too far for God to save, the people that you think they've gone, God cannot rescue them. Could it be that God is about to start a revival with these people? The people that you are saying, I don't want to hang out with you. The people you say you are a lost cause. The people you said you, whatever you fill in the blank. Jesus says, I came to seek and to save the people that you put the label on, the people that you said they are beyond saving. These are the people that I come to. So I don't know who in your life that you believe that are too far from God, who believe that you've been praying for them, but in the end you give up because you don't see any hope for them. I don't know if there's anybody like this in your life, but I want to tell you that if Jesus had to go through Samaria, which means he broke down all the wall of hostilities, he didn't care about what the religious people believe. He didn't care about what society says. He didn't care about any of that. He didn't care about any of that. If he can do it, he broke the law. He didn't care of being canceled. He said, I'm still gonna go above and beyond and reach out this daughter of God who is craving for something that I have, who's craving for something. What is it that you're craving for? What is it that you're seeking that it's only Jesus who can give it to you? Because the boat, the house, the money that you're chasing, all of that you're chasing cannot satisfy you. Find out some you will see there are people with tons of money committing suicide because they feel like if they have what they need, what they think they need, they will be satisfied. And then they realize, I have it. I have the house. I have the boat. I have the boyfriend. I have the husband. I have the wife. I have all that I need. I'm still not satisfied because God created us with the void inside that only Him can fill. God created us with a desire to spend time with Him, to worship Him. This is why you feel like you're not satisfied. Be like Moses, who says, I know seeing your glory, I know seeing you mean that I will die, but I'm not satisfied where I'm at with you. I'm not satisfied with my relationship with you. I want to know more of you. I want to spend more time with you. Let me just pray for you. I'll pray for myself and pray for you that whatever that you might have in your life, whatever that, whoever that might be in your life that you feel like is too far, they've gone too far, that God can't rescue them, that God can't save them. Father God, I thank you because no one is beyond reach. No one, your arms are not too short to save. Your ears are not too dull, not too dull to hear us, but you sent your son to seek and to save those who are lost. Father, I pray that if there is anybody in our neighborhood, in my neighborhood, that I labeled like lost cause, that I labeled that I will never talk to them, whatever it is, Father, I pray that you will open my eyes to see how you see these people, to see the type of love that you have for these people, that you would choose to die for them as well. Father, thank you for the work that you are doing, and thank you because you're still at work in our lives, transforming us. You're still at work in our lives, bringing people into you. So, Father, thank you because you had to go through Samaria to save that woman. And thank you because you had to reach out and save me from doing voodoo. You thank you for the people who are going to watch this video because you're reaching out to them. In Jesus' powerful name we pray.